Welcome back to Tabletop Vibes. Today, we are looking at Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising by Lucky Duck Games. Adam, what did you think about this tower defense game?
So this is actually my very first tower defense game, and I actually really like it. So it's a cooperative legacy campaign game.
Right. And it is true to its name. I mean, I played a lot of tower defense growing up, on the computer, and it is exactly what you would expect.
Right.
They really did a fantastic job taking that aspect of tower defense, putting it into a board game. You really get that feel of that minion waves as your towers are slowly picking off units trying to protect your kingdom from getting overrun.
Exactly. So inside Elemental Uprising, Kingdom Rush, let me give you some flavor text. Gather round. Heroes of Lanera, we're under siege once more. Relentless hordes of powerful enemies at our gates, and it's as if they have the very forces of nature at their beckoning call. The wind's always at our enemies' back, granting them uncanny speed. Volcanoes erupt, covering the countryside with ash and lava. Stick with me, don't be afraid. The earth trembles, threatening to open up or swallow our troops, and towers hold. Creatures from the ocean depths spawn from mysterious pools of inky seawater. We cannot keep the hordes and the elements at bay for much longer. For the kingdom to survive, you must bear arms once more.
Good job.
And that's Kingdom Rush.
There you go, it's Kingdom Rush.
Yeah, so in Kingdom Rush, you get to play as 5 different asymmetric heroes called to arms. I played as, I might get this wrong, but I played as Santam, the monkey.
I was Alora.
He's like the monkey king.
Like ice sorceress, I guess. She's
not to be confused with, what is it, Elena? No.
No.
Princess of Frozen.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so we each have our asymmetric powers and abilities, and our heroes that can go and do different things. There's also one called Brexa. There's one called, he's a fighter dude. There's a lot of cool characters. They come with their own little miniatures, their own player board, and everybody has a certain amount of health, a certain amount of abilities that you have during the campaign to be able to use at certain times to attack your foes.
Right. Some of these are going to be just one-time abilities. You use them, and then you can only get them back through resting. Others are going to be passive abilities that are really critical. I mean, we really use them a lot during the campaign that we played. And then, you have the life, and then you can use the character itself to damage some of the minions, but you take damage. That's the
my guy was like trample, jump on, monkey power, and then jump off and leave damage behind. Yours was, Jason's was shoot shards of ice out in different directions and hit people. So that's like the
hero portion.
That's the hero portion.
Right. So let's get to the actual tower portion. What people are here for. This is the tower defense game.
Which also, though, you're setting up scenarios, and there's 12 scenarios in the game. And then I think there's some more other flavorful ones that you can add or do, but there's 12 to go through for the story mode.
Right. In addition to an introductory scenario, which I really liked.
It is very helpful.
There is quite a bit of mechanics in here, and they do slowly guide you through it, adding more mechanics throughout the scenarios. But the introductory was really nice, just to kind of walk you through, here's what you do, here's how you do it. I appreciate them putting that in, and highly recommend that if this is your first time playing it, definitely go through that introduction scenario.
Yeah, we played a couple scenarios. We're not going to do a lot of spoiler alerts, but we will show you what it comes with and some of the cool baddies that it has and things like that.
Right. So again, towers. So with the towers, there are 4 different tower types. You have your archer tower, and that's all about pinpoint damage. That's going to be physical. You have your mage tower. Of course, it's about magic damage. It's going to be pinpoint, but you kind of do more spread damage with that one. You have your soldier tower. I kind of like the idea of maybe there's a catapult and they're launching soldiers into the minions.
Into the battle, just charge.
That while they fly, they're throwing a spear towards the next group of minions.
Yeah, so those guys are cool. I like that.
Their idea. And then you have the artillery towers, which normally you can only target one group. You may be able to target multiple groups, but you have to choose which one. The artillery gets to fire at all of them, so they're really your splash damage towers.
And then you have all these, and so when you start the game, depending on your scenario, depending on how many players, you get a certain amount of tower cards, and you randomly pass them out to each other, and then you get to play them.
And so on your turn, let's kind of get through turn order here. So the first thing that's going to happen is hordes are going to spawn. So on each scenario, there's going to be land, an tiled group, and there's going to be a path, like tower defense, from where they spawn to where your castle is. And the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to spawn. There's these tiles that get flipped over, And they have, I think it's like a 5x5 grid, maybe 6x6, 7x7. I don't know.
It's those little hex,
Yeah.
and then in its one you have all
Right.
the little...
And you can see all these minions spread all around. You can see some bigger minions there. They're kind of little beefier guys.
monkeys with bananas.
Exactly.
Dragons.
And this is the minions that you have to destroy. And you have to take care of all of them in order to eliminate the entire card. Yeah. So these are the spawns that are going to happen.
Yeah, you have to cover the card.
Right.
Because, like we said, with the towers, when you're putting out damage, it's actually polynomio based.
Yep.
And you're placing out hex tiles over those bad guys.
Right. So not only is there a strategy on like, okay, what I have to fire, where I have to concentrate, but you also have to position how the damage occurs.
So there's a lot of good strategy.
Yes, there is. Then you get the actual tower placement. So once the minions are out, now you're going to put your towers down.
Yes.
And each tower you put down, you take turns back and forth. You put the tower down, you do the damage in the direction that the tower indicates. And again, think of this as the tower firing, but you actually get to pull up your towers in this game.
Yeah.
You can also move your hero and do their prescribed damage.
Right. And with a hero, though, it's cool is you get to use them once per round. So you play your hero card down, you do your movement and your actions, and then for the rest of the time, you do the round, you do not have any more. You can't use it again.
Right.
Or move it.
Right.
Again.
But the next round you can, like they're moving around the battle, fighting things off. The other thing you can do, and I liked this idea, is that you can take that card and you can put it in the stockpile, and you take the next higher version of it.
Yeah, you're upgrading your tower.
But you have to give that card to your ally.
Yes.
So it's, again, one of these things of when do you make that switch between putting damage out versus I want to get some better towers here, but I can't use them, I got to give them to my ally.
Right, and they're in a waiting process period.
Right, you can't
So
use
they
them
come
right
on
away.
your incoming towers for next round and pull back up into your hand with you.
Right. So you get all your damage out, all your stuff's out there, then you check for destruction. So you look and see, all right, did any of the horde tiles all get covered? Not every tile, just the ones that actually have the minions on them. If they did, you destroy that card, flip it over, dump everything out, and then
Satisfying.
it is. Whatever's on the back of the card, you get that resource. So it could be gold, it could be gems, or it could be either or.
Yeah.
Either or. Then after that's done, if there's any horde tiles left, you move them up to their next space. Obviously, they're trying to
They're marching on toward your kingdom.
Right. They're going to try to, and it's just the logical, whatever's closest.
Yeah.
And then you reveal any new horde tiles that can go on.
Right.
New enemies come to the battlefield.
If your hero is on a horde when it dies, you also take a damage.
Right.
If it doesn't die, you still take a damage. And then if you're there and the horde is coming, you are retreating to the nearest adjacent hex.
Right. And that's kind of the balance between you can use your hero's abilities to do some damage. You can put your hero on the tile to do extra damage, but that extra damage is going to cost you life.
Right.
So
and if you lose your life, you become unconscious.
Right.
And you have to use another turn to
get all your life back.
Be revived.
Right. So you're not totally out of the entire game. You just basically lose a turn.
Right.
Hero.
But if the certain amount of hordes comes down the pipeline to your kingdom, and however much damage they do, you can lose your life and the scenario, and have to restart.
Right. That's one of the main ways to lose the scenario is get overrun, just like a normal tower defense.
Yes, you don't want that to happen.
Right. So after that, then you pick up all your cards. You pick up your you leave your hero. You pick up all your cards. You pick up your towers in waiting, and then you buy towers with your I don't know which one it uses.
Gems.
Gems. Used to buy towers. And then this is the cool one. You can use your coins to buy modifications.
Yes, upgrade
for your towers. You loved this.
So it's super cool. So you can use like, what is it? Unrelented damage, where it's like a true hit, true damage.
Mm-hmm.
You can do one where you're adding just another hex to making your turn more powerful.
Yep.
But the little stickers that come with it, they're not like permanent stickers.
Right. They're not sticky.
They're not sticky, but they like adhere to, I don't know why it's so awesome, but they adhere to the thing, and it's like this mind-blowing moment where your card's not ruined, and you're upgrading your card, and now you're going to go kick more bad guy assets.
Yes. So it's really cool that they did that. They did kind of get that, if it's static or however it works.
It's great.
But it does adhere, and it can come off, at the end of the scenario, pull them off.
And there's a bunch of different upgrades to get to upgrade your cards.
So that was really smart how they did that. So it keeps it on there. And, I mean, they're really...
Yeah, we mess with it, and it's
but you slide them right off. I mean, it's really good. Good for them.
Yeah,
I like that they did that.
That's awesome.
So with that is kind of the round. You kind of keep playing that until either they overrun and you lose, or usually the scenarios are destroy like a champion, or destroy all of the minions on the board before a certain number of turns.
Yeah.
That's usually the win-loss.
There's a bunch of bad guys that you can play. In each scenario, they're going to have different bad guys. We'll show you on the screen what they look like. They're really cool.
With their own special abilities.
Yep. Yep. They all have special cards, asymmetric abilities that they bring to the fight. Right. And then you also have these cool bloom cards.
Yes. Yes.
Which there's a bunch of different elemental blooms that are really, cards look amazing. And they're also really fun because on your battleground, there's these bloom areas where you can go and like exhaust and you can use them to attack.
Right.
And each one does something different.
Right. They do extra damage, or they protect you, or they do some other things. So yeah, this is kind of the environment trying to help out.
Right.
You know.
I feel like it's like the 1 UP from Mario, like level up or like flower power, right?
Yep.
So that's another really cool aspect of it.
Right. Also, if you get a little bit bored, like, oh, this is a little too easy, there are difficulty levels.
Yeah.
In addition to those 12 scenarios, there are difficulty levels, and some of them are pretty punishing. You basically get docked certain resources at the beginning of the round, or you do some additional hamperings of basically maybe you don't get certain abilities. The one that's not in the rules, but the one that I kind of threw in is be like, man, if I really wanted to really do a lot of pain, don't take your towers off.
Just leave them down.
Just put counters to say they activate. So now they're stuck there, and I mean that's probably going to be really difficult. The fact that you can't use them around.
Yeah, and you can actually also play over top of certain towers with another tower card.
Right.
Depending on if it's army and.
So it's a soldier and a non-soldier card.
That's what it was. Yep. See, so that's really cool.
Right, but the minions themselves also have abilities.
Yeah.
So they have actually kind of cool abilities. So you have things like. Quick speed, where they do 2 movement points.
That's never good. Kill those guys first.
Yes, kill those guys first. You have resistances, where they can only be attacked by certain types of damage. You have flying units, which basically will lift up, will abandon all the soldiers and everybody else trying to fight them, and then they fly and they land on top of other minions, so you got to burn through 2 stacks of them.
Yeah, I mean,
the shields.
It's a blast. And like the other thing too is like you're building up to this level. I mean, I guess you could just like turn to scenario 12 and just go crazy, but you can learn what each one does and learn how to like have strategy and see how it like ramps up,
right?
Because you have the ability to do that, which I think is great.
Right. It seems like every scenario adds something else. It kind of just keeps building and building on it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a blast, and so we're excited to continue to trudge on and take down all the bad guys. We want to thank Lucky Ducks for this copy. Our thoughts and opinions are our own on this first impression, and we just had a blast checking it out and playing it. So like, subscribe, comment, and let us know what your favorite either old school tower defense game is or your current tower defense game is. Jason, yours?
See, I knew he was going to ask me. And honestly, I liked all the old StarCraft 1 base tower defense mods. Those are just classic. I love them. They're so much fun.
Yeah, I like Kingdom Rush. This is my first one, so this has been a blast. So thanks for watching. We're Tabletop Vibes. We'll check you next time.